Hello there, thanks for stopping by. My name is Hamza, I'm a career coach, I'm a business coach, and today we're going to talk about business plan. So, you know, the first time I heard the term business plan, I was excited because I heard plan and business, etc., etc. When I digged into it, when I watched videos and I tried to do my first business plan, I found it extremely boring. Somehow, when you type in the term business plan on Google, you find templates, you find documents, and sometimes I've seen business plans, empty business plans, as big as 30 pages. I mean, it really didn't make me want to write a business plan. If you're watching this video, you are probably in the same situation. You have to write a business plan and you just don't want to bother with a long document. This is just boring, and I completely agree with you. What I want to do in this video is to show you that a business plan is actually easy and necessary. Easy and necessary. Okay, so hopefully this video is the only video you will need. Okay, hopefully. By the way, if at any time you like what you are hearing, please do like it, you know, press like, comment, etc., etc. if you're watching it live, and even if you're watching it on YouTube, don't hesitate to obviously like and comment. Thank you very much. So let's carry on. We're not going to go through a boring business plan writing. Okay, we're going to go through an exciting business plan writing because you do have an idea. You do have an idea, like so many people. There's so many people today that do have ideas, that are starting your business. You're one of them. You're about to make your first step. I have something to tell you, and this information is why you should really consider writing a business plan. You should writing a business plan because most businesses will fail within 3 years. 50% of businesses will fail within 12 months. We're talking about startups. And 90% of businesses will fail within 36 months. That's appalling. If you ask my opinion, I work with clients on helping them set up a business. I do have myself several businesses, and if you want my opinion, it's lack of planning. It's lack of anticipation. It's just thinking, being seduced and in love with your idea, and you just go with your idea and you just go with the flow. You improvise your way to success. It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't work like that. You have to do a business plan if you're serious about your business. But here, like I said it before, on this video, we are going to talk about an easy way to write a business plan and a powerful way. First of all, why should you write a business plan? Well, for many reasons. Perhaps the first reasons why people write a business plan is that they want to develop a plan. you know, it's not about writing. It's actually about having a plan, a strategy. If you don't have a strategy, if you don't have a plan, if you just have ideas and you're like, well, I know how to do it. I think I know. Yeah, I'll do it as I go, and I'll look, you don't have a plan. It's a little bit like you going, you know, towards a destination and you don't have a map. If you don't know the road ahead, if you can't, you know, plan for fuel, for food, etc., etc., chances are you're not going to reach destination. And this is very, very important. Another element of a business plan is that you can use it as a tool to navigate, to drive your business, and therefore avoid wasting money. I've wasted a lot of money because I could have prepared better. I wasted tons of time, sometimes 1 year, 1.5 years of, you know, the wrong strategy, the wrong things, and I've wasted time and money because I wasn't prepared. I didn't plan well enough. Obviously, I learned by mistake. You know, I learned through failure, and I hope that you're not going to have to go through this. Okay, so the third element is that you want to anticipate risk, failures, cash flow requirements, etc., etc. You want to anticipate everything. Your mind cannot hold that many ideas all together, that many concepts all together, you know, and you've got to put it on paper. You've got to put it on paper. Look, don't worry about making sentences and documents for now. All I want you to do is, as you watch this video, just want you to take notes. Just want you to take notes and say, oh, this part, yeah, and put keywords. so that hopefully at the end of the video, you're going to have some sort of a plan. You just have to create some phrases, sentences, but that's pretty much it. Okay. And a final reason on why you should have a business plan is to convince investors or bankers, of course. No one is actually going to put money on your idea business if they don't know where you're going, if they're not confident that you know where you're going. And a business plan does just that. Okay, so that's very, very important. Now, imagine if this is the market, okay, all these little people watching are just the market, and you just got an idea. Now, how do you make this idea a reality for the market? This is what we're going to be talking about. Okay? So essentially, I have to tell you something. I have read something called the cash flow quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. This is, I don't know if you heard about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Well, this is the third book in the series. Okay, so you got Rich Dad, Poor Dad number 2, and then the cash flow quadrant. In the cash flow quadrant, they talk about something they call the BI triangle. B for business, I for investor. Okay, I absolutely, basically inspired myself from this. I think that the BI triangle has a few flaws, in my opinion, because I've set up several businesses and I prefer the triangle that I'm going to give you now. Okay, so now in regards to the first thing that you have to consider is the product. Okay, the product, and the product is actually your idea. Okay, so usually when you have an idea, it's about an idea of a product or a service. And this is the most important. So what do we know about your product? What do you know about your product? And this is where you have to actually just describe that product. So what does it do? What problems does it solve? If you watched my videos before, you would know that the best ideas are drawn from problems. When you're able to observe, to look at and identify, locate some problems, if you find a solution, you might have a business idea. So what problems does it solve? Think about also what benefit does it offer? And I'm not talking about features. I'm talking about benefits. Why would someone carry an MP3 player? Well, because it takes much less space in your pocket and it's easier to carry than a CD player. Okay? And this is how it's beneficial. Okay, the features, I'm not talking about it. Okay, you can have tons of features. Okay, it doesn't matter. What's the selling price? What's its manufacturing cost? How much does it cost to make? If you're in the service industry, if you're planning on launching a business in the service industry, like recruitment companies or whatever service, then there's always a cost to actually deliver the service. It could be the cost of your employees, it could be a number of days. There's always a cost that you can calculate as well, okay? More about that in a second. And what's its humanistic purpose? Oftentimes people will tell you, hey, you've got to start with a vision, with a mission, with values. No, I absolutely disagree with that. Look, you've got to start with your idea. This is the first thing that came to your mind. Start with your idea, okay? Start with your idea. And I'm going to ask you, this is an extension of what benefits it does offer. An extension of that is what's its humanistic purpose? Well, how does it help human beings in their day-to-day lives? What does it do? And this is how you can draw a mission, a company's mission. Okay, so start with your idea. Start with your idea because it flows naturally. Everything that I'm going to talk to you about flows naturally. Okay, if you follow one of these documents, it's boring. I'm myself extremely bored about business plans online that everyone finds. Okay, so another question that you can ask yourself is, how different is your product or service from the competition? This is very, very important. Okay, how different is it from the competition? We're talking about your unique selling point. That's it. Just jot down a few answers, a few keywords to all of these questions. Okay, take your time and just do that. Okay. Number 2, we're going to talk about market analysis. Now, that's another word that really, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to study the market. And, it just looks like school. So I'm like, oh, this is homework. I have to do this. I have to do that. Look, it's not like that at all. Actually, it's everything that's out of your control. Market is outside you. Market is outside your company, and no one controls the market. No one controls the market. You can influence the market, fair enough, but no one controls the market. What you have to know is the terrain. Okay, you're going towards a destination. You're aiming at specific at a specific audience, at a specific customer target. You've got to start analyzing what's out there, because if you don't know, then perhaps you're going to be crushed if you don't anticipate this. So how do we do that easily? Okay, first of all, what's your typical customer? Your typical customer, what I mean is his social category. Is he in the middle class, poor class? Is he highly rich? What kind of customer is he in terms of his social category? His pain points. What is he the most annoyed with? Okay, what's his problems? Okay, what is he complaining about? His age group. Are you aiming at the teenagers? Are you aiming at the 35, 45 age group, etc., etc.? Where they hang out? Where do they spend most of their time? What's their hobbies? Okay, just what they read as well, what they watch on TV, what they listen to on the radio. Okay, their gender, of course, their likes, their dislikes. What do they like? What do they not like? Okay, where are they located? And their disposable income. Very important. Disposable income, this is very connected to the social category. And disposable income is really about, if you're aiming at a age group, for example, if you think about disposable income, you want to perhaps sell, a product or service that's expensive, then you might need to target people with a disposable income that whereby they have enough avail your service, okay, to afford your services or your products, okay? So you want to look at this disposable income. Also the volume of sales, is it a once a month, once a week, once a day? Is it per hour? Is it, are you selling a product that obviously, and you would want customers to come back, the same customer to come back every day, every week, every month, if you're a restaurant, for example, etc., etc. Look at the volume of what you're looking at, okay, in terms of how many customers are there, potential customers are there in your market. Okay, very, very important. So you see, it's really segmentizing. And what I want to tell you here is that this is easy to find out. It's very, very easy to find out via Google. You can also look at Facebook. There's a lot of Facebook analytics tool, especially when you have a Facebook page, that can literally give you a lot of numbers about their location, their gender, etc., what they do, what they like, etc., etc. That's one of the reasons that makes Facebook so powerful when it comes to marketing, is that it has a lot of data already. Now, you don't have to purchase an advert on Facebook to find out, but you have to have a Facebook page. So on Facebook, I'll let you dig in, but you do have a lot of tools to be able to analyze this, okay? Also, a good way to look at it is look at what the competitors are doing. If they are your direct competitors, look at how many customers they serve. Look at their location. Look at all of this. This is all data for you, okay? Now, one thing that I want to share with you is something that I learned from school. I found one of the most interesting thing for a business owner. One of the most interesting thing is the 5 forces that a guy called Michael Porter, he's a Harvard professor, Michael Porter. It's been called the Porter's 5 forces since then. And when you start analyzing these 5 forces, you really start having a view of your market, of an industry, of a sector, okay? Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about competition, okay? Competition. First of all, you want to analyze the competition, but not just in terms of, okay, this is my competition, this is, no. Also about their size, their influence on the market. If there's a lot of competitors, or if there is just a few competitors that are sharing the market, depending on which industry you're in, okay? So that's important. The supplier as well, the supplier power. So let's just say you're opening a restaurant, okay? You're opening a restaurant. Well, your suppliers are going to play a key role in your success. One of the things that makes people come back to a restaurant is the quality of the food. And one of the things that makes the quality of the food, one of the things is the ingredients. So your ability to find great supplies, great ingredients, great raw materials is critical, is crucial. Okay, so that's one thing that you want to start looking at in the market. What's available out there? Also, what's their power? If, for example, you're into a business where there's only one supplier in the entire region, there's only 5 players, big players in the world, then you might find that these suppliers have maximum amount of power in terms of pricing, in terms of et cetera, because there's not enough competition amongst the suppliers. You might also find that you will be taking a lot of risk when it comes to obviously sourcing raw materials or whatever, because it's not easy to find a new supplier. It's not easy to find a replacement if a supplier fails. Okay, so you want to analyze that availability of resources. Okay, that's very, very important. Another aspect of supplier is if you're opening, for example, a service company or even a product, the supply of the job market. Do you have the skill set available in your job market? It's easy to have an idea, but sometimes, depending on where you are around the world, the skill set is not available. So people can't operate your business. And this is just something that you have to take into consideration. So think about suppliers, anything that you will need for your business. Okay, just think about this. Another element is the buyer power. So basically your customers. If you are selling to a very small, tiny audience, to a very small segment of very high net worth individuals, for example, well, they do have a lot of power. It means that your reputation is key. If someone starts complaining, there are chances that you might struggle after a while. So analyze your customers. If they are internet savvy customers that if you don't deliver up to their expectation, they will go out and complain on the web, then you want to know this. You want to know their power over your business. This is all going to allow you to structure something internally that's going to, factor in all of these risks, all of these things that you find out. Okay. Hopefully I'm giving you a lot of ideas here. Another element just to consider for any business is the threat of substitution. So basically, can your customers do it themselves or find another person that does exactly the same thing at a cheaper price? Is it easy? Now, let me reassure you, if it's not because you're going to find that customers can do things by themselves that you shouldn't open the business. Pizza companies, restaurants. Of course, I can make a pizza by myself. Of course, I can cook by myself. Okay, I can look at the recipe by myself, but I just don't want to. I don't want to because that's the type of customer I am. I'm a customer that's busy, that's not, that's busy basically, and that wants to just enjoy food outside. Let's just say, okay? So keep this in mind. It's not because you have threat of substitution that you shouldn't do it, okay? And finally, the threat of new entry. These phone companies, for example, is a good example. Phone companies, Samsung, Apple, and so on and so forth, they have very high barriers of entry. What do I mean? If I was to say, okay, I'm going to set up my own mobile company, okay, I'm just going to create a phone that's super technologically advanced. Well, because they have so much advanced technologically in their research and development, for me to catch up will take me years and millions, if not billions of dollars. So it's very, very difficult, very, very difficult. And that's why they have high barriers of entry. I'm a business coach and career coach. extremely low barriers of entry, extremely low. That's just as it is, okay? So another element that I want you to analyze for the outside world, the more you know and the more you're going to start influencing, the more you're going to start strategizing, in relation to this outside world. That's your market, okay? Pestel is one of my favorite tools as well. I'm going to share it with you. It's very easy. Pestel is political. Sometimes you are in an environment where if you know elections are coming up and there's a certain group that, or certain, political party that's going to win, that wants to change this and that law, that might affect your business, then you want to know. You want to analyze that as well. What are the chances for, France to get out of the European Union? What are the chances for France to get out of the European Union if so-and-so was into power? Now, you see, you want to understand the political, implications on your business, okay? Another element is the economy. Of course, the economy. If people are losing their job, if it's a big crisis and you're selling perhaps gadgets or things that people would treat as second or third priority after, more important things, that you might consider that as well, okay? S is for social, okay? Social, what I mean by social is obviously the people in the market. And we talked about it when we talked about target customers, your typical customer. Your typical customer, socially, how does he look like? Okay, his gender, etc., etc. Very, very important. Another element is technology. Now, if you set up, a product, a service, or perhaps a service that technology can replace very, very easily, obviously you want to analyze this. You want to understand what role technology has and what's the trend. You see, today with internet, a lot of things have changed. If you're a travel agency, for example, and you've been long enough to, you've been operating long enough to, obviously before internet and after internet, you've seen that technology has completely changed, the environment for travel agencies. So that's how technology can play a huge role, okay? And finally, the environment. And actually not finally, almost finally, it's the E, the final E, environment, because whatever you do today, more and more you have to consider the environment. There's a tax, a carbon tax, an environmental tax that's issued by governments. If you have, for example, defects or waste to get rid of, then you want to consider that element as well. Is there places you can do this, etc., etc., okay? And finally, this time is the legal side. Sometimes laws change. A new tax, that's a new law. Laws, when they change, suddenly everything changes. Businesses are affected by laws. So analyze the legal implication on your market, okay, on your business. That's very, very important. Now, hopefully you understand now how analyzing, a market, the outside world, what's out of your control, can really, really help you, either say to yourself, look, that's absolutely not the business for me. I made a mistake. And hopefully with all these elements, you can't think about everything. That's why, when you follow a list, when you follow this video, I give you different points to think about. And this is what's important, is that your mind cannot think about all of these things. That's why these Pestel, Porter's 5 forces, etc. exist, okay? Now, next but not least is what's inside your company, production and delivery. Now, this is, whether it's service or product, it doesn't matter. It's whatever is in your control. If you're a restaurant, it's whatever is in your kitchen, the way you serve people, etc., etc. If you're a factory, it's how you do things, okay? How you do things, all right? So what do I mean? Well, how do you, for example, produce, manufacture, cook, serve? Do you have manuals for this? Do you have templates, instructions? Is everything written for that? You don't have to write it for the business plan. No. But what I'm saying is that by listing the things that you've got to start documenting, creating, you're actually creating systems in place. You're actually allowing other people to do it the way you want, because everything is documented. How do you store? How do you stock merchandise? Okay. How do you deliver your service? How do you distribute your product? Okay. What about customer service or after sale? How about customer complaints? How do you deal with that? That's internally. You want to set these things up once and for all, because that's very, very important. And again, you know, everything that you're going to be doing is going to lead you towards a mission, is going to lead you towards the value of the company. You see, when you handle, for example, customer complaints, if I have a complaint, I will give the person 100% refund. Well, that immediately communicates something about your value. That's why I leave mission, vision, and value after. Okay, so as you go along, the DNA of your company, the personality of your company is also going to shape up. And of course, you are actually designing the culture of your company when you do that. Okay, so let's carry on. Also, quality control or compliance. How do you acquire raw material? How do you acquire a list of suppliers? Okay, all these things are very, very, very important. Okay, so hopefully it makes sense. Now, this is the interesting part, because sales and marketing is the bridge between the outside world that you do not control and the inside world. Now, you can create something that fits with the outside world. You analyze the outside world and you can create something that really, really fits with their needs, okay, with customer needs. But now you need a bridge, because you guys are not connected. And this bridge is sales and marketing. Marketing is about attracting people. That's your marketing plan. Okay. In fact, in your marketing plan, I'm going to talk about sales and marketing. Marketing is about attracting people. How do you attract people to your business? That's the very, very important question. If you didn't think this through, look, just forget everything, okay? This is the bridge. The outside world is functioning very well without you. They don't know about you, okay? And internally, if you do all this work, all this investment, all this, everything, but at the end you can't connect with the outside world, that's pointless. So it's very important that you put everything at once so that you understand how everything is going to work together. That's your business model. Okay, your business model is actually your business plan. Okay, it's how everything communicates with one another. Okay, so how do you attract customers? If you have a shop or restaurant, what's your location? Is it a location where you see a lot of people passing by? Is it the right location, the right neighborhood? Okay, for the segment you're targeting, or perhaps you will be doing things via email, social media, advertising, or perhaps a sales force that will be cold calling potential customers, prospects. That's possible. Okay, perhaps you could set up some joint ventures or partnership contracts. That's also something that you can do. Do you have contracts with retailers or distributors to help you obviously with the marketing of your products? And how do you convince is selling? How do you convince customers? What's your unique selling point? Sometimes the unique selling point is just low prices. Okay. Sometimes it's other things. It could be the quality. It could be the uniqueness. It could be that it's new and no one is doing that. There's so many things. But you've got to identify your unique selling point. Okay, very important. And also just always focus on the benefits, not the features. How would it help people live a better life? Okay, that's what we're talking about, not the features. Okay, your company's mission. Just to be sure that you guys know the difference between benefits and features. If you think about a mobile phone, I don't care that it's 20 megapixel or whatever megapixel. That's a feature, but I don't really care. What I care about is that I could take beautiful pictures from me, my friends, family, that will stay, and that's the most important thing. That will keep, that will keep remembering the most important parts of my life. That's a benefit for a 20 megapixel picture, okay? And your company's mission, okay? Your company's mission, if you believe in something, if you want to change, society, a group of people, you want to change a trend, you want to improve, something, just say it, because that's a selling point as well. People believe in causes. You want to have a cause. Apple has a cause. If you look at all the big brands, they will have a cause, a mission, a core mission. And this is something that as you go along with your business plan, as you go along with planning your business, this is going to start crystallizing more and more. You see, we've been talking about the company's mission, vision, values for, a few times now, but this is going to keep on crystallizing as you move forward, because you're going to come across decisions. How do we do things? What if this? What if that? Customer complaints. How do we treat that? And this is going to shape up your DNA, the personality of your business, your uniqueness about this business. Okay, payment terms. Sometimes you can convince customers because they can pay in several times in installments. Sometimes you can convince customers because, I don't know, they have a 100% guarantee, refund. Okay, so that's very, very important. And finally, the basis. And you see, the lower you are in the pyramid, and the more important, because the lower you are, the more you support things. Okay, so sales and marketing, without sales and marketing, there's no point producing or delivering any service. And if you don't analyze your market, same thing. There's no point creating a product, because you don't know if the product is going to fit. Okay, so the final thing is the cash flow. Now, this is the part where, my God, I hated it, because for me, immediately when I heard that, I imagined accountants and projections and complications and numbers and Excel spreadsheets and graphs, and all I wanted was to create a business. And now I'm bored, because it's like in school, I'm doing things that I don't like to do, but apparently I have to do it. Well, don't think like this. Don't think like this. I used to think like this, and boy, I was wrong. Because cash flow is actually your future. Cash flow is your future. Cash flow is the projections. Cash flow is the final conclusion. Cash flow is basically, okay, I've got my idea, that's my product. And then this is my outside world. I don't control this world, but these are my target customers, etc. That's my market. Okay. Now, this is how I'm going to do things. Produce or deliver or serve people this way internally. Now, that's the bridge. Sales and marketing. That's how I'm going to connect the outside world with my world, with the internal world. Okay. And now let's see if all this works. If all this works, I'm going to put some costs, some numbers, and project it after 1 month, 3 months, month by month, after 6 months, after 12 months, after 24 months, and see where I am. I don't want to waste 1 month, 3 months, 6 months of cost, of hard work, if I can find out right now that it's not going to work. I'd rather find out now, because I could change things in my planning. So the cash flow is everything. If you don't have cash, most businesses will stop. 99.9% of businesses will stop because they run out of cash. Nothing else. It's very important to realize this, okay? So cash flow projections, basically think about all the startup costs, the legal costs. So for example, you need to acquire a license for softwares, for your business. You need to get a lawyer to write down some contracts, etc., etc. Or perhaps you need to acquire some material, buy some software. You need to get some raw material, perhaps some commercial space, office, or shop or restaurant. You need a website, you need a logo. All these are startup costs. Put them down one by one. Don't worry if you don't remember everything, because once you start putting them down, after a while, after 1 or 2 days, you can say, oh, I forgot to include that. Oh, I forgot to include that. And that's the true essence of a business plan. The true essence of a business plan is that it's a working document. It's not something you do in one day and then that's it, I've done my business plan. No, it's actually something that I've done a business plan. Oh, I forgot to include this. Now it changes, the cash flow projection. And this is work in progress. Or actually I tried this, but I don't like it. So I'm just going to change my mind on this product or whatever. And this is how you build a business plan. It's an ongoing work. As you are setting up, you want to create a business plan, an easy business plan, and then you want to enrich it with your experience, with your new ideas, with things that you remember that you forgot. Okay, so think about all the operational costs as well. Those costs that just happen no matter what. They are needed to operate a business. Okay, think about daily, monthly, yearly operational costs. So operational costs are, for example, salaries. Salaries are an operational cost. The office rent is an operational cost. Okay, so think about all of these things as well. And now do some break-even analysis. The key question I have to ask you is, now that you know your costs, you have your product, what's its price, and how many of these would you need to sell, whether it's a service or a product, for you to actually break even, for you to actually no longer run at a cost and make profit? Is it after 3 months, 6 months, 5 years? Because this is going to dictate how much cash flow you need, how much investment capital you need. Okay, and that's very, very important. Okay, and finally, the cash flow projections. Cash flow projections, what I mean is really understanding how much money your business will have. And we're not talking about profits here. We're talking about how much available money, cash, your business will have month by month, now, after 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years. Is the amount of cash always available? Are you creating cash or not? Okay, and this is easy, guys. There's a lot of simulators. You go online and you find templates, cash flow projection templates, and you fill it up. It's not a big deal at all. Just change it the way you want. Okay, but or speak to a friend that's an accountant. But obviously, make sure you answer all of the questions before. Okay, remember, I want you to succeed. You want to succeed. Everyone wants you to succeed. The people that don't want you to succeed will tell you, don't do a business plan. Now, hang on. Sometimes some of you may have heard me saying that you don't necessarily need a business plan. You don't need a business plan. Let me make this clear. If there is zero investment in terms of money. So if I start and I know that worst case scenario, I don't earn anything, but I don't lose anything, I don't need a business plan. You should, but it's okay. You can build a business plan later or as you go along, okay? So for example, I have at the moment a recruitment company, a headhunting firm, and I also have a coaching company. You see, the coaching company, I didn't need a business plan. I really didn't. I made a bit of analysis, but I didn't need a proper cash flow projection, etc. Because, well, if it worked, it worked. If it didn't work, it didn't work. I didn't lose anything. I didn't invest anything. Does it make sense? I hope it does. So for all other scenarios, especially if you need money, if you need investment capital, make sure you use a business plan. That's very, very important. We're almost there, guys, because now you probably heard about it. It's the executive summary. Now, the executive summary is actually the first part of your business plan. We leave it at the end because you should. A summary is here to summarize. What investors do usually is that they look at the executive summary and the cash flow projections. If they're interested, they will read inside. The executive summary, the cash flow projections, the cash flow says, hey, here's the proof that it works. The executive summary explains the entire document in in 1 page or maximum 2. If you're able to do that, then they will read inside. They will be interested, intrigued. And that's very, very important. So one You want to lead with a painful customer problem and how you solve it. You see, if the investor or even yourself, if your partner is convinced that there is pain in the market and that your product can solve that pain, can heal that pain, then you're onto a winner, okay? Number 2, outline your mission statement. You see, because you've worked on all of these things, now you're starting to think about, what are our core values? If this happens, how would we react? Because you already put yourself in so many different situations. You've already analyzed a lot of things. So of course, you're going to start outlining your mission statement. And while you're at it, make sure you include your values. What are your core values as a business? Okay, that will literally influence every decision you make. Okay, and show that you have a large and growing market opportunity. Now, if you don't do that market analysis, how would you actually, be able to show this? It would be just based on an opinion. Oh, I'm sure it would work. There's so many people that would do that, that would like this. That's just a new opinion. But if you actually engage into a market analysis, you can back this up by data. Okay? Include your sustainable competitive advantage. What's different between you and the rest of your competition? What's new? I want to set up a burger chain, for example. Well, what's new? Well, my recipe. Okay, but people can copy that. No, what's new with us is that we have invented the luxury gourmet burger. That's interesting. Obviously, that exists already, but do you see what I mean? Okay. 5, clearly define your business model. Now, you have defined your business model. So now you want to put a few lines to introduce it. Okay. Highlight why your team is the best for this challenge. Okay. What's your background? You're an entrepreneur. What's your background? Oftentimes, people talk about setting up businesses in a field that they are not, they've never worked in. Now, be very careful. Be very, very careful, because the way you think about this sector might not be the truth. You've never experienced this sector yourself. Okay? And besides, if I was to invest money in a business, I would look at the experience, the background of the person that's going to operate this business. That's very, very important. Okay? 7, project revenues. Of course, this is the executive summary. It's a summary of everything. So you're just going to say, hey, by the way, we are projecting that after 12 months, we're making that much profit. Okay? And therefore, in order for us to achieve that, we need an investment of. Say it. If the difference between what you're able to create in terms of profit and the investment is big, then if you need 1 million, for example, and you're able to show me that after 24 months you're able to create $6.2 million in profit, then of course I'm going to give you the 1 million. That's easy. Okay, but you've got to prove it. Okay, that's really important. And finally, outline the potential investor return. We just talked about it, and when you would pay them back the money. Okay. Now, I want to, conclude with this. Do you remember we said this person had an idea? This is his market. His market, all these little people that are looking at him are his market. What we did now is that we started analyzing the market. We started saying, hang on a minute. What do they like? What's their pain, their problem? Where do they hang out? What's their gender? What's their, disposable income? What's their social category, etc., etc. And then we started creating internally the product or the service. We said, hey, this is how we're going to do it. These are the suppliers. This is the price. This is the system, the process. We created, we planned for this is how we're going to do it. Now we need a bridge. You see, that's your sales and marketing. Your sales and marketing is really a connection between that market and your product. Okay. If you're able to understand that, you're just going to rock and roll. Okay. So now, next is that you want to test all this by putting some numbers and say, okay, let's push the system and see if we're going to simulate it. We're going to project it and see if we're going to make money. And obviously you want to be breaking even and making as much money as possible. That's a business plan right there. That's it, nothing more. Add an executive summary that, you know, basically summarizes all this, and you're done. And you're done. Remember that triangle, okay? Very important. First is your idea. Start with your idea. Don't start with mission, value, Start with your idea. This is what excites you. This is where the juice comes from. This is where your energy will come from. Start with your idea. Just describe the product, okay? The outside world is your market. Analyze the market. Porter's 5 forces, your typical customer, and PESTEL, okay? Political, economical, social, technological, environment, and legal environment, okay? And then the inside world. This is basically your internal trainings, how you're gonna do this, whether it's a service or whether you have a restaurant. How are you gonna do it? How are you gonna serve them? What about customer complaints? What's happening inside your world? Okay, and this is really important. And then the bridge between the outside world and the inside world, that's the bridge. And then the cash projections. Okay, now I'll be honest with you, if you were to stop here, I don't know if your business would work. I don't think your business would work if you were to stop here. Why? Because you see, all of these parts are not glued. They are not connected with one another very well. What you want to do is also create systems and legal documents that connects everything. I give you an example. Legal documents, for example, with refund policy, terms and conditions. Think about your employment contracts. What are the clauses? Commercial contracts with clients, suppliers. Think about anything that has a legal implication. But you see, with this, you're actually connecting everything into one same world. That's your business. Okay, the systems. You know how you do this. Your ability to document things. Your ability to use specific softwares. For example, cash flow projections. Are you going to use an accounting software or an accountant? That's your system. Okay, and this accountant or this accounting software, is it connected with the inside world? For example, where you're going to be making some purchases of raw materials. Well, are you going to be connecting that sourcing software to the accounting software? Systems can be, just by systems, I mean documentation. If you document things, you have systems, because it means that an employee or software or machine can do it for you. Okay, if you give instructions. Okay, another cement, something that's going to glue all this together is, of course, the people and yourself, the leadership. That's one of the things I will always look at in a business. If the people and the leadership are connecting all of these things, they're working towards all of these things, then I'm onto a winner. I'm absolutely onto a winner. Okay, and of course, your mission, vision, and values. You've got to establish this. I will say that this is your culture. This is the way things are done and why they are done this way in your company. And this is the basis of your pyramid. Without these 3 elements, systems and legal, team and leadership, mission, vision, and values, then all of these elements are loose. They are not part of the same culture. They are not part of the same, these things are glue. They glue the 3 sides of the pyramid to keep them all closely together. Okay, so I hope it makes sense. I'm just going to say this to you: keep it short. Keep it short. Keep your business plan short. Look, no one wants to read a 30, 40, 50 page document. Keep it short. First, jot down some notes. When you watch this video again, jot down some notes and pause the video and just say, oh, okay, I can answer that. Oh, okay, I can answer that. And then create a document, but keep it short. Also, we talked about this. This is work in progress. It's not because you think you're done that you shouldn't revisit your business plan. This is your plan. This is your compass for your business. And this is very, very important. So just start from the point that I will do a lot of work now, but I need to be flexible enough, open enough to change it, amend it, adapt it to the reality that I'm going to discover. Most startuppers have no experience in entrepreneurship, zero. So if you feel like, oh my God, I have no experience, it's normal. Just allow yourself to adapt. Just allow yourself to learn, because hopefully you've put some blueprint, some planning, and that's very important. Okay. And finally, my last advice is include charts as much as possible. Anything that's image driven and not text driven is much easily digested, much easily understood, much easily, it's more convincing. Okay, use charts wherever you can. Okay, that's very, very important. Not just the cash flow projections, but everywhere, to segmentize your market, to whatever. Okay, and that's pretty much it, guys. I hope this was helpful. I really, really hope this is gonna really help you write a simple business plan. But do have a plan. Whatever you do, make sure it's written down. Your plan is not a plan if it's just in your head. If it's just in your head, it's just a wish, it's just an idea, it's just a dream, but it's not reality. Capture it in a document. Capture it. You know, it's better to work hard now and to create a document and then you realize, oh my God, this is not going to work, than wasting time and money, then resigning from your current job. Don't do that. Create a business plan, because it could save you tons of effort and money. I hope this was helpful. My name is Hamza Zawali. If you want to do a business plan and share it with me, so I can give you my opinion, you can book a free consultation on my website, nameyourcareer.com. You can see the link /start, nameyourcareer.com/start, and you can book a free consultation where I can help you, give you some opinions if you're interested in coaching for your business. That's all for me. Thank you very much once again. Thank you so much. If you're gonna like and comment on this video, if you didn't, that's fine. I hope you have enjoyed and learned a few things, and I hope that this has helped you demystify the business plan. Thank you very much once again, and hopefully see you next week for another video. Bye bye.